It was such an honor to look at so many of your work, and I found that even though maybe we had to be very selective in terms of who got it, I think everyone showed incredible potential, and I do hope you continue to make work, and that this doesn't come so much of a setback. Um, the I would Roundhill. Am I saying it right? I think I. Hopefully, I'm not. But I thought um, I'm very honored to be presenting this to you, and I'm going to just sort of read a little bit about what I kind of saw as I looked at your work. Roundhill's institutional critique is an artwork whose title is quite deceptive, something I suspect is quite intentional on her part. Critique is often valued in that it is able to recognize an issue that maybe one may feel they are having in an institution, but may not have the language for. Here, May's work speaks more to human innovation and potential than to just criticism for criticism's sake. The human activity of whistling, which is a fundamentally um, human activity that kids do, is transformed into the flute because of thousands of years of figuring out how to work through the mastery of wood carving. How wonderful must that discovery of the flute must have been. In the installation, it hovers over our heads, taking on the space of a trophy held above our heads. We also meet it as a slightly larger than life floor sized sculpture. The scale of the sculpture is not monumental, and therefore it doesn't belittle you, but rather it's a totem, once again asking us to celebrate one of our more major innovations, the ability to carve and shape objects to enhance our experience. This innovation has given us everything from chairs to a flute. May, in an age that may feel like we are meeting so many challenges that it can feel so overwhelmingly depressing, is reminding us we have done and created many great things, including something as magical as a flute. It is, it is, um, it is, as I imagine, she is very optimistic. The second part of May's installation that is actually quite forward-looking is how computers have and will continually allow near impossible creativity. Here, using the computer, May uses a polyrhythmic composition for whistles. Looking at this installation, I couldn't help one that is impossible to do or very, very difficult to do with just us blowing a flute. Looking at this installation, I couldn't help but think about the conversations being had around AI today, as so many are concerned about AI taking up and um, becoming something in the realm of creativity. I think that the question, as May suggests, is how we use AI to create the new possibilities for human creativity. Something as fundamental as whistling can still find incredible new value in this new age. So I am extremely grateful for the optimism in your work.
Thanks so much. Just we'll hand over to Brandon. Just thinking maybe we should have project. We will hand over to Ragnhild May.
Hello, I'm here. I'm beaming in from Croatia, where I'm part of an art festival. Currently I'm studying at the Royal Danish Academy of Fine Arts, where I'm pursuing my PhD. I just thank you, Alvaro, very much for the beautiful words and the introduction. I want to share an anecdote. When I was in second grade in school, I went to a regular elementary school paid by the municipality. all kids in my class had to pick an instrument. We could either play the ukulele or the recorder. So I went to the ukulele class. And after the class, the teacher pulled me aside and said, maybe you should go to the recorder class instead, because that would be better for you because you're a girl. So I played the recorder ever since. And that's how I started playing the recorder. But instruments also shape us. Instruments are not neutral, and different instruments have different gender connotations. And later on, I pursued a career in art, and I went to art school. And in art school, all we talked about was institutional critique. And it was kind of a fun paradox that we learned institutional critique from an institution. So we were critiquing the institution that learned us to critique the institution itself. And that made me think of a thought experiment of what if kindergarten kids learned about institutional critique? What if kindergarten kids learned to question the structures and power dynamics and gender biases in society? Because we go through institutions from a very early age, and we are shaped by these institutions and their biases. And that made me, this thought experiment also made me wonder, what if kids learn to question these power dynamics and question the institution? Would music sound different or look different? I guess I have a few more minutes. I can just briefly say that my installation.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, what would be great would be to see a couple of the images.
Sure, yeah, put them on.
Should we show them at our end? Yeah, that's probably the easiest.
Yeah, I mean, you can just show the images, and I also have a little video, and then I can just briefly say what's on it.
Yeah.
So I have, the installation consists of, as Alvaro said, two big recorders, two upscale recorders, and they actually work. That's an important detail. You can flow into them and they will play. Then I have some scores for the recorders that are, they look a lot like the scores from an educational recorder book. And then there's a polyrhythmic composition made with an instrument that I've designed myself, that I play with on my computer. And the installation is, the sound is installed in multiple speakers throughout the exhibition space.
Great, thank you. We've just been seeing some of the images, so I think people have got a sense of the sort of ambition of this enormous instrument.
And if you have time, you can play the little video, then you get a feeling of what the sound is like. And I think that's all I have to say. So thank you very much.
So we're just going to play a tiny bit of the video.